Right. Hello. Just gonna get started in 4.5 minutes. So 6 bells. Let's see, camera angles. Yeah, let's. For once, I can actually see the screen. Okay, might move this back a smidge. So for anyone who's just watching and waiting, waiting, commiserating. So on this, or in this class, we are going to be doing an upper body bodybuilding, which I'm going to really enjoy saying over and over again because I'm basically going and yeah, all right, that's a good angle there. So for this, I'll grab the homemade weights. Actually, I only have one that can be used straight away because the other one had a pop, and I don't have time. If I want to be on time for the 6 o'clock kickoff, I don't want to be adding more crap to it. No plastic. No plastic. Little snake. You're a snake. You know. The titted snake. All right, so lightweights, this is all going to be about how lightweights, if you use them in the right way, they can be quickly turned into very, very, very heavy weights. It's better for bodybuilding rather than charger. That's what I was going. It's better for bodybuilding rather than strength training, but there's crossover. Okay, now charge, and this time don't turn off. So you can probably see there the home weights. Well, they're still good. They're still good and heavy. You can probably see that is that's not an object you want to have in that position, but it is leaking. It is a couple of days old. So what this is a home weight, and the way I did that is I'm not going to bother with all that. There's bottles of water in there. That's all it is. It's just normal 2-liter bottles of water. Actually, that's a lie because they weren't normal bottles of water. They were fizzy water because I'm fancy like that. And they weighed pretty much the same as the weights that you see there, 8 kilos. I think this was 7.5 kilos. Very easy to do. All you need is a bag for life and some plastic bags just to keep the water inside. So there's another video on the channel that you can look to earlier, and I'll use these again, but I need to re-prep them, get new balls, etc. So that's just to show you can do this workout if you don't have this sort of equipment. Just go to earlier in the channel, you'll see me. I'm putting on a serious flex, showing that I have bigger biceps than I actually do. Oh, the manipulation. But we are going to use these weights for this video. Now, we are doing an upper body workout, which is just going to involve some press up work because we need to have access to as much of our simple things as possible, because this is aimed at everyone who is at home. And then we're going to do a similar exercise for the back. I will say though, if you have access to a pull-up bar, use it. Use the pull-up bar rather than the exercise that I'm going to display here, because I'm going to have to use weights. The only reason I'm not using my own pull-up bar is because it is at an angle in a hallway, and that's just terrible. But if I had a pull-up bar here, much prefer to do a pull-up bar. It's an excellent exercise. If you want to work your back, you want to work your biceps, don't do anything other than pull-ups there. It's brilliant. Not only is it just really good for you in general, for like the positioning of your hands and your arm, your shoulder alignment and all that, but it's a practical use. It doesn't happen very often in your life unless you have an incredibly interesting one. But if ever you need to get over some sort of a barrier, yeah, you'll have a handy way of knowing how to do that. Could save your life, get you out of a fire or something like that. But anyway, we are going to get started, and we're just going to do a basic warm. So we're going to go through we're going to go through the exact exercises that we are going to do, but we're just not going to do as many of them. 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going up to 10, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then we are going to do some rows. We're going to use these weights here because these are good and heavy. They're about the right weight that I would want to be able to get up to 10 comfortably, well, uncomfortably comfortably, if that makes sense. I want to be focusing on my back, not having them so heavy that I need to go like this and throw them up. I've got 30 kilo weights, but I hardly ever use them because they're too heavy for what I want to do. All right, so get them up nice and safe first. Make sure the back is parallel to the floor, and then up they go. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I think I might need to do them individually, just because it seems like more of a back exercise than an arm exercise. I haven't done them in a while, so a bit weak. And then we're going to move on to the circuit that we have for working the arms. And this is one that you'll probably see if you follow this fitness class thing over and over. You'll see this a lot, because I'm a big believer, if something is right, don't change it. So bicep curling, how you make light weights into very heavy ones, is to use gravity against you. So leaning forward as they come up is one way, starting at an angle where they're down, and that's not quite 45, but you get the point. And if you move over, this is the full trick, what it looks like. So let's do that. I'm not in the mood for that though, so I'm just going to do normal ones. But if you need to make those weights even harder, that's how you can do it. So we're going to be doing reps of 10 on these. So we are going to do one round. We're just going to do it nice and fast, whereas when we're doing the actual circuit, it's going to be slow. Okay, now, you don't need to go to your knees, but just so there's a better camera angle, overhead press. And don't worry about having them sideways or out like this. As long as you're doing the movement nice and slow and controlled, that's all that your body asks for in terms of safety. Right, what's next on the list? lateral risers. So lat rises, these weights will be heavier than I'd actually have them. So what you can do in this instance is you can do you can do what's called negatives. So roll the weights up, and then control, let them down. So let's do. If you overhear them talking in the background, don't worry about that. That's my extra song. So easing down like that. That's how you really get in when you want to do bodybuilding as opposed to strength training. Again, you haven't heard me say it before, there's crossover. So a bodybuilder will usually be strong, and someone who works they work out in order to be strong, usually have a larger muscle. You'll be able to look at someone and go, that guy's strong. But look at the weight categories in Olympic weightlifting, and you will see people who are very, very skinny but are ripped to bits, and they can lift huge, huge weights. Look at Bruce Lee. He'd be a perfect example. Ripped to bits, not a huge man, but I wouldn't want to go to the gym with him for a competition. Apparently, he used to be able to get 60 kilos on a barbell and hold it straight out in front of him. If I pushed the barbell over my head, I'd be impressed with myself. But to hold one there. But someone once told me that the internet isn't 100% truthful all the time. Okay, and that'll do us. Now, last one we're going to do is the kickbacks. So kickbacks, try and keep your chest parallel to the ground. Very similar positioning to what we did with the rows with the heavier weights. But what we're going to do here is line ourselves up, kick the arms back, and really try and make them a little bit extra go up at the end. So that little bit there really does make a difference. So don't flick them, so don't go, because that's just swinging weights around. That's not hard. You know, you're just using a swing. Hey, where'd you get that? No. Where'd you get this from? Piss? Yeah, that's a piss. Yeah, that's the. Oh, well, I'll wrap my hand in it now. I'm going to act positive now because this is live, but expect a harpoon later. What was it? The kickbacks. So, kickbacks, you're down, you're not swinging, you're driving them from, I think, 6 o'clock. And at this angle, it looks like 3 o'clock, but you can imagine it might be 9 from how you're seeing it. So 6, and then up to whatever time it is, and then back down nice and slow. That's how you really get this squeeze onto the muscles. So up like so. All right. And I didn't bother with reps for that one because demonstrating how correctly to do something is just plenty as a warm-up. We're 10 minutes in, so 20 minutes. Yeah, I reckon that's going to be a nice little loop and get a half hour class. All my classes are going to be in and around a half hour at the moment. And I'm going to try, I think the noonday ones are fairly manageable. I reckon I could always commit to doing the noonday ones. 6 p.m. ones, I think most of them I can do, but I'm putting them down as a maybe for now. The noon ones, give me 90%. 90% maybe. I'm not ready to commit 100%. I never want to let down my audience, but yeah, 6 p.m. whenever I can. Noon, a good 90%. There's always going to be exceptions. I might have hospital appointments. Emergency might come up. Signal might just drop down. All that sort of thing. But yeah, starting out, half hour. Each class is going to be about half an hour, but that might piece off. But that might increase as time goes on. I might start finding out what people want out of their class, but at the moment I kind of think short. One, because it's not my training. I don't want to be doing this. It's nice, but I would be more focused on running at the moment. Okay, so press-ups. We are going to do 50 press-ups and 50 rows. I would suggest 25 pull-ups if you can. Remember how to do dips. If you're unable to do pull-ups, you don't have weights, but you want to work your back safely, jump up the pull-up, and then lower yourself under control back down. If you have an elastic band, use the elastic band tied up here, and then either get it into your knee or get it down to your foot, depending on how high your pull-up bar is. You probably need to put it to your knee if it's in a door frame, like everyone's home pull-up bar is. So yeah, half of whatever your press-up is, that's usually a good marker for your pull-ups. So press-ups, we want our elbows nice and tight to our body, so we don't want them flaring out too much. And we just do that straight. So we don't want elbows going out like this. If you have wide hands and the elbows go out like that, that's fine. But we just don't want them going out further than the actual hand, wherever the hand is on the ground, because that's bad for your wrists. Little tyrant. Okay, so 10 reps, nice and slow, under control. That's what we're aiming for here. We're not aiming to sort of 1, 2. Okay, so let's just count that one as 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's no problem with you dropping to your knees, just as long as your chest touches the ground. 6, 7, 8, 9, and I'll display the rest of them on the knees. So what we want to get is the same movement as the press up, with the only difference being now we're doing it from our legs instead of our feet. Now, what I don't want to see, I can't see, but what you don't want to be doing is this. This is muck. If you have to put your chest to the ground, then stick your ass in the air and push yourself up like you're doing child's pose. That's fine. That's way better. It's much better to be lowering yourself down safely and then sliding your ass back up, coming up, and then back down, chest to the ground. In reverse, think of it like if you were trying to do the pull-up as a negative, but you were only jumping up to your chin being, at your forearm level, like jumping up to here and then let yourself down. That's not going to do anything. You have to jump all the way up, just like with the press up, you have to go all the way to the ground. Okay, so, excuse me, 10 reps of the row. Yeah, backs in line. Get a mirror for this, or use your phone. I'm constantly recording myself in the gym, and it was embarrassing at the start because I was like, oh my god, everyone's going to think I'm some kind of a wanker who's like walking around pulling their top up, looking at their abs, and I wasn't. I was trying to get my form perfect. But use the phone and then analyze it. See where you're going wrong, where you're going right, and at what point you're going wrong. Are you going wrong at the 5th rep? That sort of thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So nice and controlled the whole way up and down. We don't want to be bouncing the weights, and we don't want to be moving our upper body around, like turning in and turning up. There's a time and a place for that, but this is a bodybuilding circuit. So we want to focus and control at all times. Two, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take a break as much as you want. In terms of how we've stressed our muscles out, normally if you're doing bodybuilding, I always do this sort of thing at home. I don't do set, rest, 4 set exercise. I almost always double them over because it's just a better way to work out. I think it's more efficient with time because you're resting less. But right now, while I was doing the rows, my chest was resting, but now I'm just getting my breath back. But rest as much or as little, well, not as much. Rest as little as you want, because we're doing 2 exercises. It means that one part of the muscles have been resting while the other ones are being used. Okay? Press ups. 10. 1. Last one. Nice and slow for me because this is within my range. I reckon I could probably be doing those. I've been doing grease the groove a lot, which is where you, a few times a day, not many, 4 or 5 times, you do a long set of exercise. And I've been doing press ups and I've been doing pull ups. So now we're doing something different that are about pull ups, and I feel quite comfortable doing them. So it's obviously working. Look up Grease the Groove if you want to know more. I haven't made a detailed video on it, so I'll get someone else to do it. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. What's your excuse? What's your excuse for lying there doing no work? You're in the gym, bitch! Next time you crawl under me, I'm not going to do the press up. I'm going to become a weighted backpack to you and make you do the press up. 1, 2, 4, 5. It's like she's trying to die here, or just to make sure that I don't drop my form. I don't know how she'd talk, but I'd imagine she's thinking, don't lose control of that thing, otherwise I'm dead. 10. Something else that you can do if you're doing the rows and you want to do them both at the same time is you get a bit of tissue paper or a towel, should be saying, towel on a counter and put your head there. You don't actually have to put much weight on your head at all. You'd be very quickly surprised. Comfortably, I could probably do it from here. Yeah, I reckon I could. I'm not going to. It's a weird thing to just sort of show you my ass, glorious as it is. All right, that's plenty of time. Noodles time. So once this is complete, this will be the halfway point. 5 exercises. So 10 in total, things out is 2. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nice and slow for this one. 10. Another one that you can do with the rows that's perfectly fine is if you have a couch, and you can do with the knees. So if you have anything that will create enough space for you to be down here, a little dip in something. A very strong coffee table if you want to put your knees on the couch. A coffee stable. Coffee is a staple of the morning diet of the Western man. Stems from arguably Kenya. Some say India. Some say South America. Northern parts of South America, Colombia particularly. I like coffee. And you should drink coffee before a workout. Never. If you're going to have your caffeine, drink a coffee. Never, ever have any of that pre-workout shite. It's dog shit. Supplement company lies and bollocks. Drink a good cup of coffee. Enjoy the taste of it. Learn about the history behind it, because it's really interesting. The history of coffee. It's the only A I ever got in university. We all had to do a presentation on a supplement, whether it is, real or not. And I had caffeine, and I actually went off topic and I started going into the history of tea and coffee, which is amazing, absolutely amazing. Why the Americans drink coffee more than the Europeans, or at least the British Isles, where we're focused more on tea. And it's to do with the Boston Tea Party and tax. But only ever drink coffee and tea and, Pro Plus, that sort of thing. If you want caffeine, never buy pre-workout. Everything else they say there, vasodilation with nitrogen, it's all bollocks. That, just because your veins expand doesn't mean that they're actually lifting a weight heavier and causing more of a hypertrophy effect. Right, round number 4. And while people can sometimes drink too much coffee, you'd be very surprised how much that number is. Just don't drink it too late, because it'll keep you up. It stays in your bloodstream for ages. But it's full of antioxidants. Shit that's good for cancer. And don't listen to my advice, seeing as how I'm talking about how drink a lot of coffee, it can help prevent cancer. And you can probably work out why you shouldn't listen to my advice on anti-cancer things. Throw Wim Hof's method in the bin. Cancer boy told me it was good, so take the opposite opinion. Yeah, that's what you get. 1, 2, 3. I'm going too fast for that on the push. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, last one, really squeeze it out. World's biggest turd. Squeeze that shit out. Oh, well, that's actually cutting closer to the half-hour mark than I thought. So I'm only going to do one more set here and make it 4 and make that one 4. And I'm actually going to go against what I usually say, which is do them really slow. And I'm going to make it more like a fitness circuit. But you'll still get a pump. I'll tell you that. Specificity in gym training is often negligible because consistency is more important. Most people will get this really personalized training program for the goals that they want to achieve, but then they go down to the gym twice a week when they were told that they need to be going down 4 times a week or 3 times a week. And that's the reason that they don't, become the stronger person or the bigger bicep or all that sort of thing. When if they were doing, let's say they wanted to become stronger and they were doing a bodybuilding routine, they were doing that routine more often than the other one, they would get crossover benefits. So the number one most important thing in getting fitter is consistency. It's not intensity. That's way, way later. Way later. 90% of it is just showing up. Same with diet. It's not what diet you're on, it's how well you're sticking to it. And the best diet for weight loss is no diet. Fasting. You want more information on that? Go to Horizon BBC. You can watch it on iPlayer. I checked recently. Or maybe that's the truth about exercise. But look up the truth about fasting. BBC Horizon. 3, 2, 1. So I'm breaking my own rules of don't turn your body. Okay, so we're going to go through that circuit. And if we're doing 4 sets, I'm going to half the reps as well because I'm already quite tired with that. Not as fit as I used to be. Well, let's start first. So I'm going to be doing 8 reps and do 4 cycles of them. So bicep curls up and down. I'm not going to try and do them fast, but I'm just not going to do them as slow as I normally would have. Four, 5, 6. Yeah, 8 will be enough. 7. The last one. 8. Straight away over into the overhead presses. It's hard to do the no letting go of the weights. Very rough on the grip. Four. 5. 6. Are you posing for a fucking portrait picture? Like a canvas portrait picture. Canvas portrait picture. Portrait picture. Upper body bodybuilding. Right. Lateral rises, raises. Lateral erases. So use your hips when you're throwing them up. So bum goes back, bum goes forward. And if you want to make it easier, arms in closer. More of a chicken wing than full extension. So think that Jesus Christ on his cross was actually a big chicken. He could have just used his god powers. Walked all over. Punch his pilot's wine. Turn it into turpentine. Could have motivated doubting Thomas. Could have pulled a David Goggins on him. Stopped him. Stop him doubting him. Give him that self-belief. Okay, and kickbacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to go for it. Straight in, no kissing. Back to the curls for the pretty girls. 1, 2, 3. There's a tip for you. Dig your elbows into your ribs. That keeps them in a solid place, prevents them going forward like this and using momentum from your lats and your shoulders. Keeps it focused on your seps. One more. And straight in. No kissing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 6, 7, 8. I need a rest for that. The lats are usually the hardest ones on the grip because the handle wants to come out between where your hand is, rather than maybe for the bicep curl, it's going against the back of your hand, or the overhead press, or the tricep kickback. Kickback actually might be similarly difficult, especially just after lateral rise. 1, 5, 6, 7. Last one. 8. All right. Triceps, kickbacks. 1, squeeze at the top. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And straight back into it. 1, 2. Oh, starting to wreck. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll put that down for a second. A little bit over halfway now. Try and get this in before 22. Did the bicep curls. Overhead press. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, lat rises. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Kickbacks. So someone in my neighborhood is listening to a fitness class as well. That's the spirit of being. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm just going to home straight this one. See if I can not drop them. Especially not on her. Go on, piss off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. 5, 6. 8. Oh, this is gonna be fucking hard. Oh, this is gonna be grim. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that is it. That's it. If you want to do a lot of flexibility work and stretches afterwards, go ahead. You do you, babe. What I'm calling that the class. Is that bad as an instructor to be telling you don't do your stretches? Maybe. I don't know. I kind of feel like the stretches for when you're doing bodybuilding and you're useless at doing that, you know? What does she have again? Whose fault was that? No. Iron fist. That's what she's ruled on with me. Now I'm going to go beat her up.